hearing what the men's rights activists are saying, and I'm finding the sources to support what they're saying. Men are just as likely to be victims of intimate partner physical violence. Men have little to no control over their parental destiny, especially when he's tricked into fatherhood or he's raising a child that he later finds out isn't his. The sentencing disparity between men and women is 6 times larger than the sentencing disparity between blacks and whites. So while a black man may be sentenced to 10% more prison time for the same crime as a white man, a man is sentenced to over 60% more prison time than a woman arrested for the same crime. Boys are falling behind in education. They are enrolling at lower rates and earning less college degrees. And while not all MRAs agree on the issue of infant male circumcision, most MRAs do believe it is a human rights violation. I spent months learning about infant male circumcision, but it only took me watching a 5-minute medical training video to convince me this is a barbaric practice that needs to stop.
Okay, so first thing, make sure he's well restrained. The foreskin, okay? And we repeat the process with just one end and clamp. Anything that gets clamped gets cut.
All that was left, a partial penis and his tiny testicles. Rhodes says Ashton urinates through a hole in his penis. She says she can't imagine now what she'll say to her son when he's old enough to understand what's happened to him.
How could you explain it to your child that you don't have a penis or you might never be able to have kids?
Yes, men are the majority of workplace deaths and injuries, war deaths, suicides. They have a shorter life expectancy. Warren Farrell makes the argument that prostate cancer and breast cancer mortality rates are similar, but funding disproportionately supports breast cancer research and awareness over prostate cancer.
The red pill is about looking at these issues in an honest way, even when it's uncomfortable. And these things are uncomfortable, but without the willingness to set aside the programming and to set aside the false beliefs about what power is and what women are and who women are. Part of what we do is a pretty serious critique of both sexes. It's brutal, but critiquing the sexes is a real valuable thing. Feminists don't want you to do it though, unless you're portraying women as victim and men as perpetrator. The red pill is about understanding that men and women, like everything else in life, it's a mixed bag. You've got victims and perpetrators on both sides of the fence. And that's all. It's real simple. It's just not easy.
I think I agree with everything you said, but there's still some kind of unsettling doubt, and I don't know where that's coming from.
I'm recognizing all of these very serious men's rights issues. But what I don't understand is how I could be agreeing with men's rights activists. Is this the same misogynist hate group I originally discovered online?
The Southern Poverty Law Center has classified that group and men's rights groups as hate groups.
I looked into what I was hearing from feminists and the mass media about the men's rights movement.
I've read a lot and I've heard a lot that the men's rights movement has been labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Is that correct?
That's not quite true. No, they got it wrong. No, this was somehow written up on some kind of anti-men's rights websites as us having listed them as hate groups and so on. That we didn't do.
He wrote a piece declaring the month of October to be Bash a Violent Bitch Month.
Jesus.
I mean literally to grab them by the hair and smack their face against the wall, he wrote.
I then discovered that Paul Elam's famous Bash a Violent Bitch article was written in response to this article by Jezebel called, "Have You Ever Beat Up a Boyfriend? 'Cause, we have." The article cited a study that revealed 70% of non-reciprocated violence was perpetuated by women. The author then went on to say that she conducted an informal survey at the office, and the gist of her findings was that many women had physically assaulted their man, and it was interpreted as either being funny or he was asking for it. I couldn't help but see the hypocrisy in a major feminist website making light of abusing men, and MRAs stinging back only to have the media paint them as the abusers.
Something else to think about. Arriving on campus, boys will also see the effects of women's studies programs, now usually termed gender studies programs. Make no mistake about it, however, they are still women's studies programs. I teach in the gender studies program at Wagner. There are about 900 such programs worldwide, and about 400 of them are in the States. By comparison to those 900 programs worldwide, there is one men's studies program. In 4 years, Center for Men and Masculinities is to be established at a state of New York university, the one in Stony Brook. It will be headed by Professor Michael Kimmel, a sociologist. Its advisors will include, probably among the advisors are our funders as well, the actress and fitness expert Jane Fonda, Gloria Steinem, and Eve Ensler, the author of Vagina Monologues.
After my year of filming men's rights activists and feminists, my descent into the rabbit hole was not slowing down. My education on gender politics was really just beginning. I learned about other sectors of the online manosphere, like MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way, and a forum on Reddit called The Red Pill, which is separate from the men's rights community and they do not see eye to eye. I'm told an easy way to remember the difference is that while MRAs want to change the system, Reddit's The Red Pill want to take advantage of the system, and MGTOW want to leave the system. There are so many perspectives on gender, and I believe they are all worthy of listening to. However, the conversation is being silenced. For a society to accept anything said on behalf of women's rights, and then to shame any dialogue about men's rights and call it hate speech is precisely the problem. I don't know where I'm headed, but I know what I left behind. I no longer